Well, good evening, everybody. What's going on, leaders? How y'all doing?
We are good. Good evening. How
Doing
are you?
great.
Good,
Good
good. I'm
evening.
on vacation, so I'm doing really good.
I know that's right.
Yes, oh
Got a little
yes.
break.
A
Absolutely.
break away from the noise is
Absolutely.
okay. Is tea.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
no
Yes.
shade, all
Yes.
tea. And I'm able to flow, in the things that I'm called to do, like this. So,
Yes.
how
Yeah.
are you guys doing?
Yes.
What's up, viewers, leaders that are viewing tonight?
Oh, yes.
Doing
Yes.
well.
We're doing
Doing
good.
well.
It's kind of hot where I am
Yeah.
right now, but, I'm making it.
Very.
Yes,
It's
yes.
very hot where I am.
Yeah, like we said earlier, I think it's hot in a lot of states right now. So I hope
Yeah.
Yeah.
everybody is remaining cool, calm, and
Mhm.
collective because tonight's topic is hot.
Tonight's topic will heat it up a little bit more.
It's very
Okay.
hot.
Okay. So those of you that don't know who we are the Collaborative Lens. I am Shantanique Langston. You all can call me Neek. Okay. I am the founder of Reach to Teach Consulting, where I help school and district leaders build stronger schools, cultures through human-centered leadership. Because every healthy school begins with a healthy leader or leadership. All right, so that's a little bit about me. Dr. Angela, you can go ahead and take it over. And then Dr.
Okay.
Cassandra.
Hi, everyone. I am Dr. Angela Taylor Eccles, founder of ATE Educational Consulting. Our mission is to stop the great resignation of teachers by providing school leaders with purpose driven leadership strategies that they can implement immediately. We provide workshops, professional development, and keynote speaking because without our teachers, we cannot educate our kids. And you can call me Dr. Angela. Dr. Cassandra, your turn.
Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Cassandra H. Jenkins, and I am the founder of Little Comes Much Consulting. And I focus on leaders and helping leaders move from frustration to consistency and precision through excellence. I have been in education for more than 33 years, have had several roles, and just love all things school. And you can call me Dr. Cassandra.
Yes, and together we are the Collaborative Lens, where we have conversations that transform school leadership. Okay, so we're going to dive right in because talking about being a safe space in our personal life is one thing, but what about in our professional lives? Like, what does that look like, right? So, before we get started with the
Absolutely.
topic, I gotta give you some a study. So there was a study that was done on this through the psychology in the schools. This came from Wiley Online Library. So anytime when I would talk about a topic, I'm going to do my research and I'm going to give you guys statistics, okay, the data, because the data speaks
Mhm.
volumes. So with this information, I just want to get it to you really quick. So, back in 2024, a study published in Psychology in the Schools followed over 769 educators across 20 K through 12 schools for over 4 years. Okay, so again, this study followed 769 educators across 20 schools. That's through the K 12. Okay, for 4 years. Now, we have way more educators than that in the nation.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
the numbers I'm going to tell you, I want you to pay close attention to them. So the researchers found out that educators who experience higher levels of psychological safety consistently reported lower burnout, greater self efficiency, and stronger perception of organizational support and school climate. Now I'm going to go a little further and give you the actual numbers so that you can.
Shantony, you have some reverb. I don't know if Cassandra hears it. Like you're
No, I
talking
don't.
twice.
I'm sorry.
Like what?
Cassandra, does it sound like Shantonique is talking twice?
No, I don't hear
No?
that.
Okay, go
Mm-mm.
ahead, Shantonique.
Okay.
Okay.
Double check your area. Make sure it's you don't have me playing twice. All right. So let me go into the statistics or the numbers. So for For high or stably high teachers, it was about 51%. For medium, it was 44.8% of stable condition when it comes to psychological safety. And then 4%, it was the had the lowest um, dynamic in psychological safety in classrooms and in the workplace environment. So again, out of 769, 51% were stable high, 44.8 were medium, and then 4.2 were low. And that was only 769 staff. Now,
Right.
I'm not sure, and I know that Dr. Angela may be better with the numbers because retention is her baby. So, do you have different numbers that can probably maybe not even mirror this? Because I know we lost a lot of teachers after 2024.
Yeah.
So I just want to give you guys those numbers before we get into the
Yeah,
scenario.
we've actually lost over 400,000 teachers within the last 4 years. And it's not
Absolutely.
all due to retirements or
Mm.
people just leaving. It's people just being tired of teaching. So we've
Yes.
lost. We have a teacher shortage in our nation.
Or they're tired of the conditions that they have to teach under. When we're not intentional about creating systems that they can teach well and have, like our topic is speaking this evening, emotional safety, then people can choose to leave. And that's what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Gabby, you see you couldn't hear? You can hear us now, right? Let me see.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
hearing
she says
everything
clear.
twice. I
Okay.
don't know why.
Okay. You said it's clear to you. Okay. Yes. You're absolutely right, Dr. Cassandra. So we're going to go right into the why. One of the whys this is happening. So here's a scenario. A teacher sends a late night email to their principal. The email isn't disrespectful, it's vulnerable. Good evening, Miss Williams. Uh, they share that they are overwhelmed, struggling with classroom management, and unsure on how much longer they can sustain in the pace. So the next morning, the principal reads it while rushing for meetings. They skim through it and interpret it as another complaint. Sound familiar? And
Yes, it
responds
does.
briefly and says, "Well, we'll discuss this in our next PLC." Everything cannot be discussed in a PLC. Anyway, I'm just going to put a pin in right there.
Yes.
No acknowledgement, no emotional check in, no follow up. Now, the teacher doesn't
Right.
respond again. But over the next few weeks, the teacher stops sharing concerns, stop being vulnerable, and volunteering ideas to the staff. But now they're starting to disengage in meetings and even begin to start doing what? Updating their resume.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Hmm. Yeah.
was the issue the teacher's vulnerability or the leader's inability to emotionally hold the moment?
Yeah, I'm gonna hop in there, and I'm so glad I
Yeah.
figured out what was wrong with my computer. I had this on twice. I have two tabs on, so I heard everything twice. So I'm so glad that I figured that out. But I believe that the issue was not the teacher's vulnerability. In fact, the email was an act of trust to send that email to their administrator. So the teacher took a risk by saying that I'm struggling. That's a risk because you don't know what your administrator is going to say. She believed that the leader was a safe place, but in reality, it wasn't necessarily a safe place because the issue was that the leader missed the emotional moment. It was an emotional moment that the leader could have taken and utilized. So the response wasn't intentionally unkind, it was simply emotionally incomplete. The leader had so much on their plate, and I've been there. Sometimes you have so much on your plate, you don't mean to respond, not in an emotionally safe way, but that's just what happens. So by focusing only on the logistical solution, the leader unintentionally overlooked the human need behind the message.
Ooh, now that's good. Cassandra, wanna?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I agree. I definitely agree. If the leader is not in tune to the emotional side of the staff at all times, which is one of those things that's a heavy weight for a leader, but to whom much is given, much is required. And so when people reach out and show vulnerability, we have to remember that we are working with people first. Yes, there are overwhelming tasks and so many different things that pile up on us to do, but the human side of the fact that you are dealing with people, living beings that respond based on how you react is where we have to lie our intentions. And that's difficult for a leader to do, like Dr. Angela said, because we're human too.
Mhm.
And so we're not always focusing on how a person feels. We're always thinking about what's going on, what we have to do next, what's the next thing to
Yes.
accomplish on a task list. So we have to, have some regular and consistent practices as to checking with ourselves to make sure that we're checking in with people's emotions.
That's
Ooh,
good.
that's
That's
so
good.
good. Ooh,
That's good.
I hope you all are taking notes tonight. We are just getting started. That's the crazy part about this.
I love what you said. Check in with ourselves first. It starts with
Right.
us.
Yes, this is the whole
Yeah,
reason why
yeah,
we are, why we are here.
yeah. And it's
Um,
hard for us, and it's hard for us to do because we're always on go.
Yeah.
So we have to slow down and be those intentional people because, uh, like we have said in our last podcast, every system is impacted by the person that's leading it. And the person that is leading it has a lot of weight. And you have to be intentional about how you deal with people.
yes,
Yes.
so
That's
so
that's good.
and that goes into my next point. What is emotional safety in leadership? So when I speak on human centered, and you all know I am a teacher first, so from a teacher's lens,
Right.
I'm gonna break it down a little bit. So emotional safety is not comfort.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it again. Emotional safety
It is
is
not.
not comfort. It's consistency in how people are treated. And I'm gonna
Yes.
add something to that. How people are
Yes,
treated well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
exactly.
using myself as an example. Um, Majority of people come to me with a problem because they know that I'm going to give them sound advice and wisdom in how to deal with the situation. Now, this and I help not only my colleagues but my leaders and my parents and the staff or and students around the building. Okay, so people always say, "How how you're so easy to come and talk? I can so easy to come talk to you." And I don't know why, but I will say that I naturally have a gift to use wisdom. I use it in my everyday life, in my personal life.
Yeah.
And so that has
Right.
come from my childhood, my background. I had to grow up. I grew up early, quickly, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I was in survival mode. But now, because I'm healing and I'm self-regulated because of that, now I'm able to utilize it. And no matter, I can able to navigate personally and professionally. And so it has served me well over the years. I
Yeah.
hope that just
Mhm.
helps somebody right there.
Right.
So
Yeah,
the way
yeah,
you present yourself to people, that's important. So like you said, checking in with myself. What type of experience do I want my staff to have with me?
yes,
What type of
Mm-hmm.
experience do I want my staff to have with me in 2026, 2027 school year?
right.
So I
Yeah.
hope
Mhm.
you're writing that and
Yeah.
journal that and think about what type of experience you want them to have with you.
Yeah.
And you guys can talk to us in the chat. What's your thoughts on
Mhm.
this? Did you want to
Mhm.
piggyback, one of you, Dr.
I
Cassandra?
do. The emotional safety is so important. And I love what you said that your staff feels comfortable coming to you because that
Right.
speaks volumes. And we talked about it
Mhm.
last week. We wonder
Mhm.
why one school has a revolving door of teachers, and then another school has teachers who stay a long time. It's that emotional safety. And even in our personal lives with our family, our friends, we should make it to the point where people feel safe talking to us without judgment. And so
Right.
as a leader, we want to make our staff feel emotionally safe. And it's not about making everybody happy, right? It's about creating an environment where people feel safe enough to be honest. If I'm
Yeah.
honest with you, are you going to hold it against me?
That's right. Yeah.
Are you going to later talk about me to another leader? And now I can't transfer it to another school. So to create an
Absolutely.
emotionally safe place, it speaks volumes for a leader. If we
Because
can
that
do that, that's half the
that
battle.
That's right.
yeah,
That's right.
you hit on the head right there.
I
Because that
agree. I
Yeah.
agree. I also want to piggyback on what you said, Nick, about safe doesn't mean comfortable. Just because your principal is likable
Hmm.
or everybody seems to think that your principal is a nice person doesn't mean that there does not need to be uncomfortable conversations. Safety exists when there can be accountability discussions
Hmm.
that are truthful and grounded in evidence and purpose intentions about how you are relaying the concern to the staff member. So it doesn't always mean comfortable. When people hear safe, they always think about, oh, that person's going to make me like them, or they're just going to be very, very nice about everything all the time. And the goal should be to be nice, but be intentional and to make sure that everyone understands that accountability is the same for everybody.
come on, heavy on the accountability part. Look, now let me start. Let me start it.
Mhm.
This discussion is very helpful. Yes, I'm so glad it is helpful. Okay, because as a teacher by day, I gotta help the leaders. I love y'all very much, but I gotta help you because the teachers be talking, and I'm like, I need you guys to have the same conversation. But I get it. Um,
Yes.
God bless me to be in this space to do this. So I'm here to advocate for everybody. But I believe it's important to learn and understand a different perspective and how you can approach difficult conversations by first being self regulated. And this is one area that some leaders need some love in. And so we're doing that tonight. So those that are tuning in, again, welcome to the Collaborative Lens. We are talking about emotional safety and if you are a safe space. And I hope you guys, again, are taking notes because the topic is juicy. So let's move on to the next part that staff need to know. So staff need to know that they can speak without emotional punishment. And we just talked about that a little bit, being dismissive or using sarcasm. And so I hear a lot of workplace bullying going on. Sometimes I see that
Yeah.
Angela is having an issue with her camera, but I do know that
Mhm.
there are issues that happen in the workplace, and sometimes leaders don't know how to have conversation without um, taking the time to what pause before responding.
Right.
So I see that
Right.
happening, a lot. I'm gonna keep going, and hopefully Dr. Angela can get back with us. So, did you
Okay.
want to? There she is. She's right there. Is there anything you
Yes.
want to
Thank
add to that
you.
about staff and how they
Um,
want to feel?
I didn't hear you say that again for me.
Okay, is there anything you want to share with that when it comes to staff needing needs to know if what they're going to say if it's not going to be taken as judgment or being punished for speaking up for themselves? Because I've heard staff speak up for
Oh
themselves
yeah,
and they get
punished.
emotionally punished for it, and they are
Yeah.
manipulated into like they try to
Well,
like
that
put it back onto them, like put that responsibility back onto the
right.
staff versus taking
Um,
the time to hear it, pausing, and then going back to making a solution with the staff.
that has a lot to do with principal maturity. Um, you have to have some professional maturity and intelligence about how to interact with your staff. And you have to know that there will be things that they will discuss that you may not agree with, or you may even have facts that they are not aware of. So when they speak to you in their truth, you have to understand that that's exactly what it is. It's what they believe at the time. But through communication, effective communication, not irrational or emotionally led communication, but through effective communication, you can resolve those issues and not allow them to become an even bigger issue on your staff. When it comes to the things like retention, like making sure that people feel like they're being treated like the professionals that they are. Um, Sometimes we get caught up with the thought that we are the leader, so we're the ones with the power, and everyone should just listen. When truly leadership does not work like that at all. Oftentimes, I said to my assistant principals, if you don't feel like you're not the leader, then you might not be doing a good job, because you need to feel like you are in this together with your people.
Yes, that is so good. Because that goes into, well, that's kind of going to go into my example later for the leaders to use as far as a model. So I'm going to remove Dr. Angela for a second, make sure she gets her thing together first. But that, you said a mouthful. You
Mhm.
said a huge mouthful. Leaders, I hope y'all taking notes on that, because that was everything. Um, so here's the other part I want to go over. Leaders set the mission, again, permission climate. Going back to being honest. So again, what type of experience do you want your staff to have when you walk in the room? What temperature are you setting when you come in?
Yes.
Like, do you keep it
Yes.
real with your staff?
Mhm.
Like, if you are a person that keeps it real with your staff, then more than likely your staff will lighten up as well, and they'll be honest because you created that environment for them to be able to voice their opinions. Because if you have people who are vulnerable enough to voice their opinions, and again, you using wisdom as a
Right.
leader and how to
Mhm.
navigate, because again, not all ideas are for right in the moment. Some things can be put on the shelf, but you're using wisdom in acknowledging your staff, because when you
Exactly.
acknowledge them, they're gonna stay.
Mhm. Exactly. And
That
everything
was the
that you do, everything exactly. And everything that you do as a leader, your staff is watching. So going back to what you said about how you entered the room, your mannerisms, your tone, your physical and vocal expressions, all of that is taken in by the people that are expected to listen to you. And because you have to pay attention to your mannerisms, you have to be intentional about what you are conveying to people. And so that takes thought.
yes, that is so true. Oh, you're
That takes, okay, if there is a directive that's coming from district office that I don't agree with, district level, or bash what we're expected to do, we need to strategize together to figure out how we're going to make this work for our campus. How does this fit into our ecosystem? And if it doesn't fit, how do we make it fit if it's a directive? So the way you approach it as the leader, it really impacts how the staff reacts and approaches it with you.
yes. I love what Robbie
Dr.
Wilson.
Angela is I think Dr. Angela is trying to get back in.
Okay, I don't see her
Okay, okay.
because I just text her too. I love what Robbie said. They said the staff or team members' mindset may be different now. What was once considered tough love may now be considered bullying. That can be true depending
Very much
on
so.
the scenario, because you do have some, you have some, I know some staff that they do have the facts, they have the receipts, of what the bullying looks like.
Hmm.
um, because micromanaging, I said it before, I said it to my previous principal, I said, do not do that. This
Hmm.
is not a corporation, this is education. You cannot
Hmm.
manage your building by micromanaging. And I have seen what's happening when you do that. You can't do
So
that.
I And so I'm also thinking, I'm not sure if Robbie is thinking from a different standpoint when he says that the mindset might be different now. Once what was once called tough love might now be considered bullying. I think he might be speaking to the fact that we have a new clientele now in staff. So he might be talking about old school versus new school. I'm not sure, but that too has to come to play because the leader has to understand the range of people that they're working with, and they also have to understand how the um, new generation is dealing with things that we handled differently and also interpreted differently in the past. So that's another way of looking at that comment because there are people who, um, when they hear some truth, they might say they're being bullied, and that's not necessarily the case. So there are always different angles and different perspectives to look at the situation. And I go back again to the heavy weight is on the leader to be intellectual about all different angles of how we approach our staff.
Yes, that's good. Yeah, I do. I think you have to be mindful of, yes, the time we live in, the dispensation, and what worked before may not work now. At the same time,
Right.
I do believe in some old school stuff. Okay, I'm a little
Hmm.
millennial, but no, some things do work. But I am also
Yes.
speaking from the angle where I do see the bullying happening, and it is
Mhm.
on the level of when someone's doing their job and you are adding on more things to their plate, and they already have X, Y, and Z going on. You're still demanding them to do all the work. So that's one
Right.
angle. There's different ones. So I do see
Sure.
there's, again, then you have the ones where they are voicing, speaking up for themselves, and then they're getting shut down because they are speaking up for
Mhm.
themselves and they're speaking nothing but what facts. So you do have that type of workplace bullying happening, but some don't want to have that conversation. This is why we're having it now.
Right.
Um,
Right. Mhm.
Pamela, you said you can't hear me, but you can hear me, Cassandra.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Okay, okay, good.
This technology is acting up today, I tell you.
Yes, I don't know what's going on with Dr. Angela too. We want her to get back on to speak
Yeah.
on her stuff as well. So I'm gonna move on to the next part. People don't open up in environments where uh, tone is unpredictable.
Hmm.
It's not
Yeah.
what you say, it's how you say it.
Yes.
Okay, you can
Hmm.
hear now? Good. Okay. It's how you say it. And so that's important.
Right.
They don't open up unless they know, okay, how's she doing today? Oh Lord, how he doing today? Oh Lord, he in the mood, she in the mood. Your staff should
Hmm.
not be
Right.
talking like that. You should even give them
Hmm.
inkling of why they should walk on eggshells around you. Why
Right.
is your environment, the culture like that?
Staff should never have to wonder. Right. Staff, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Something is happening. Staff should never have to wonder what person or what version of their principal they're going to deal with for the day. The principal should be consistent enough to share, for the staff to be comfortable to share anything at any given time. So when they are uncomfortable and they have to pass the word around about today's not the day to talk to the principal, that's a problem.
Yeah, that is a problem. Um, that yeah, and we need to work on that again. Doing self reflection on um, what type of experience do I want my staff to have with me? What type of climate am I creating for the next school year? And so
Exactly.
sometimes we gotta actually you need to reevaluate how you showed up last school year. I know you don't want to cringe, I know, but it's okay. But we're here to support you. It's okay. What areas can you be better in?
Right. Right.
We're human first. We do have struggles.
Hmm.
Okay, so what areas can I become better in so that
Right.
I am well received from my staff,
Hmm.
even the ones that I might butt heads with, but they
Right.
respect me.
Hmm.
That part, because again, you still have things to goals to accomplish. We may not agree on everything, but it's all right as long as I am showing up and I'm showing my emotional side or my
Right.
vulnerability, and
Hmm.
acknowledging you and my human side. Listen, we are here, we're in this together. I got you, but we got X, Y, and Z to do, right?
Exactly.
So emotional safety is built through response patterns and not intentions.
Hmm.
Pay
Yep.
attention to how your patterns,
Hmm.
how you're
Hmm.
responding to things, because guess who's keeping score? Your staff.
Yes.
They're
Hmm.
keeping
They
score.
are. They are.
They're
Hmm.
watching your every move
They are. Hmm. That's true.
because you're leading the way. They're gonna do what you do. That's
Hmm.
all. If you too playful, they're gonna be playful too. They don't want to take you serious. So there
That's
has to
true.
be a balance. Go ahead,
Right.
Dr. Sandra.
Yeah, I agree. You have to know when to be lighthearted and when not to. And they have to understand that. They have to understand that you are there to lead and not with the iron fist, but in unison with them. And as the leader, you have to keep checking to make sure somebody's following you, because sometimes we are just going 1,000 and um, not really checking the rearview mirror. And if we do that surveying and collecting of that data, sometimes we figure out that people are not as agreeable with us as we thought. So that's the importance of the check-in with your staff. That's the importance of having those intentional conversations about where are we as a school, what are our goals, and making sure the goals are clear and the targets are clear. When there are milestones met, making sure you celebrate. And when there are different skills and strategies that need to be improved or honed in on, making sure you relay that to your staff as well.
Yes, yes, so good. Okay, so Wilson said, as a leader, you cannot take any days off. With that in
Exactly.
mind, staff should understand that one issue is an addition to the 10 the leader has.
Right.
And that's good to
That
note.
is.
And
Mhm.
I tell my
Mhm.
colleagues, like, they're doing all the things.
Exactly.
So being mindful of that is important.
Mhm.
At the same time,
Yeah.
leaders still make sure that you are also bringing that up,
Mhm.
because you cannot put all that on this teacher, because the teacher got to deal with what, 30 other minds all day,
Mhm.
and then their parents. So you see how the responsibility is really for everyone. So when you have a healthy balance, where you
Yeah.
have that transparency, then there's a level of respect. Okay, I do understand. Let me wait to share what I need to share. Depends on what it is. But yes, I think it's important that we all understand where we all are, and then how
Mhm.
to have conversation about certain needs. Is it priority? Can it be put on the shelf?
Right.
So that's why we have to pause. We have to
Yeah.
pause.
I agree. I think what we're talking about here is empathy and compassion for each other. and understanding the roles that each other has to play. The leader understanding the roles that the staff have to play in working with students and ensuring that students are successful. And then the staff understanding that there are multiple hats that the leader has to put on. And, all of it comes back to empathy and compassion through understanding for each other.
Yes, that is so good. Ooh wee. This is a very, like I said, this topic
Yeah.
again.
Right.
Some leaders may not believe that this is important, but it is.
It is.
Just like
It's
how we
very
talk
important.
about this, the safety in the classroom, the kids want to feel safe with the teacher. The staff
Yes.
also need to feel safety from their leaders.
Yes, they do.
You're
They do.
entrusting your staff to do their job in the classroom. They're also entrusting you to do your job and have their back when things arise. So
Yes.
that's why, yeah. So that's why we gotta look at, okay, how am I
Hmm.
showing up? And
Exactly.
I will say that tonight, you showing up tonight is enough.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
enough. Because
Yes.
like Mr. Wilson said earlier, you wear many hats, you have many tasks at one time. Just like
Hmm.
the teacher has many tasks at one time, right?
Right.
So it's
Right.
like, okay, how do I balance? So tonight, as a human being, you are here to learn how to self-regulate so you can balance all your tasks as well as showing up better emotionally for your staff. We're not saying
Yes.
fall in love with them. We're saying
Right.
you have to know how to manage. You want to keep them same people in next year. Okay, I
Right.
got to meet them where they are and
Hmm.
still honor the integrity of my position.
Right. Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
Dr. Cassandra, it is now your turn. I want you to talk to us about how does emotional safety look like from the systems, from the leadership systems lens. I'm gonna try to get.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. While you're talking, I'm gonna try to get Dr. Angela back in.
Okay. Okay. Um, so, leaders, I believe that there are three standpoints that we need to look at emotional safety through leadership systems. Um, there's the predictability that you've heard a lot about already, and then there's safety in consistency, and then follow through. It confirms intentionality. So predictability, consistency, and follow through are the three overarching themes that I want to talk to you about tonight as it relates to emotional predictability through routines. Make sure that the staff understands that the principal cares about what they have to experience. And when there are consistent routines, when there's a consistent bell schedule, when there's a consistent class schedule, when there are consistent newsletters going out weekly to inform the staff about what is happening versus the staff having to find out through word of mouth or hearing everything last minute or making everything knee jerk reactions, then it makes them comfortable, and they make the leader lead with precision as it relates to how the campus is taken care of. Am I being heard? Because I see my screen is doing something crazy
It
too.
is.
Can you
I
hear
can
me?
see you. I can hear you. I can see you. And I'm not sure what's going on with Dr. Angela
Okay.
again. But keep going.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So as I was saying, predictability. The second topic is consistency. One of the biggest misconceptions in leadership is believing that emotional safety comes through people liking the principal. That's a good quality to have. And you do want your people to like you, but it's not your charm that people fall in love with, it's your consistency. It's whether you are being consistent when you respond to people, with the way you treat people. Teachers ask themselves, can I count on my principal to respond consistently? If I send an email, am I going to get a response? If I send a text message, am I going to get a response? If I say I need to meet with you, am I going to get a time to meet? Or is it just left to chance? Principals ask themselves, Will expectations be the same for me as it is for everyone else? Or does my principal have favorites? And does my principal's response is contingent upon whether he or she likes me or not? Teachers ask themselves, can I trust that the feedback I'm going to get from my principal is honest but respectful? Because sometimes we give feedback that's honest, but it doesn't respect the person. And so in turn, the person doesn't hear anything that you're saying because they're not left with their dignity. And we have to leave people with their dignity when we're telling them the truth. So when you are consistent in your actions and you are honest in your actions, then people feel the safety, they experience the safety, therefore they can work through emotional safety.
Yes. Ooh wee. You said a mouthful. I was just like cringing at the same time, like, I was thinking about my teacher friends. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this they will be like, preach, Dr. Cassandra, preach. Okay.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. They'll be
It,
like,
it,
can somebody feel me? That's what, teachers want to, somebody that hears that. So yes, that's
right,
important. Again,
right.
it's the mirror.
And and we can't always feel like when the teachers come to us with a concern that they are complaining, because it's a hard job to be a teacher. It's a hard job to keep up with the interactions and the academic success of 25 to 30 students on a daily basis and be in tune with every one of those kids' emotions. So all of that is difficult. And so we need to understand that while we're carrying the weight of the campus, they're carrying the weight of your children.
And their and those
And
parents too.
so consistency
Oh, your thing is going it up.
plays a large part in that. I'm sorry to
Hmm.
hear. What did you say?
No, your mic had went out. You said
Okay.
consistency plays a big part in that. Is that what you said?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right. And then the last thing is follow through. If I do not follow through with what I said I was going to do with intentionality, it disrupts safety. It really, um, it really derails what you're trying to accomplish on your campus. When you ask yourself, am I a safe leader? Think about how. Think about how am I a safe leader? How do I provide safety to my staff? What do they experience that I've created intentionally to help them feel safe and supported while being respected at the same time? So we can have some routines. We can choose to do like consistent feedback. One of the things that I always do or I always did was when I went into a classroom observation, that teacher got feedback that same day or the following day during their planning period. When we went in as a leadership team, we all went in, observed the teacher, got together, calibrated what we saw in the classroom, and provided meaningful, effective feedback to the teacher that was immediate. So if their planning period had already passed for that particular day, then we scheduled a brief conference with them the following day during their planning period so that they could get the feedback that they need. People don't need to wait 3, 4, 5 days or even weeks before they hear about um, their feedback for a classroom observation. That's not being consistent.
You better talk.
We have to close that communication loop. Um, one of the phrases that I always spoke to my assistant principals about, we don't need to expect what we're not willing to inspect, because they will know that you're not going to follow up on it. And when teachers find out that pattern, that there's a pattern of no follow through, then they assume that it's not important to you. So then
Mm,
it doesn't become important to them.
yes, come on. That is, yes. So Wilson said that team members need to understand that their value to the team is determined by the value they bring to the team. It's
That's
not that
true.
you have favorites, but not every team member has the same value. That is true.
That's
And
very
as
true.
a teacher, I'm gonna say to a certain extent.
Right.
And
Right.
again, that also comes with maturity too.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
going back to that too, because you have leaders
Absolutely.
that shouldn't be in that position.
I-
Everything you're saying is absolutely 100, Wilson. But listen,
right. Hmm.
you need
Hmm.
to be teaching some us and young leaders some things. Because yeah, because it's some
Everybody doesn't bring the same value to the team, but everybody's on the team. And
right.
so sometimes you have to take the members of the team that's going with you until the others catch up. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes you have to realize that some of the team members don't need to be on the team.
Yeah. And I
So
want to
all of
piggyback.
those things, right? All of those things are true based on how the leader is leading,
Mm-hmm.
and based on the intentionality of the expectations and the purposes that the leader is acting in the way that they are. Um, so I agree to a certain extent with Robbie, um, that yeah, everybody on this team doesn't have the same value. They do not. However, as the leader, you have to recognize that they're still on your team.
Yes. And what I want to
And
add
you
to
have
that,
to also understand, okay, I may not get 100% from everybody. Okay.
yes, that
You
was
said you
good.
want to add to that?
I just want to add to that last part, um, and to what his point about team members. I believe it's important for principals to know who's on the team, know what they're good at.
Yes. Hmm. Hmm. That's true.
He's you have to coach them up.
Please, honey.
You
Yeah,
have to coach them up. Yes.
yeah, you do,
You
you
do.
do.
You do.
Yeah, you do,
Yeah.
and that takes some.
And
It's
it
a grace while you do it.
exactly. Hmm.
But I
You
was just
really
going to say
do.
that you need to know your staff and know what they are good at. You may have some people who know how to put together some balloon arches, save your school some money, listen, support their business. Listen, you have somebody who can start a dance team. It's important to get to know your staff and then their gifts, because that's going to make room to
Hmm.
build the
Hmm.
culture. And when you start utilizing those gifts in your building, guess what? Retention, clock it, you're going to keep it, because now not only am
Exactly.
I teaching,
Hmm.
but my principal allowed me to do X, Y, and Z, and I love doing that. So when you're intentional like
Yeah.
that, because you know your
Hmm.
staff,
Hmm.
you know, that's how you build community and lasting and continuity in the classroom. You just
Right.
never know, those little things spark. So I hope
Right.
you take
Hmm.
the notes
Hmm.
on that. Did you want to add, Dr. Angela? Welcome back.
Yes, thank you. I have had a lot of problems going
So
on, so I don't even know where you all are in the format.
We're
But
we're still, well. She's at the tail end of hers. Go ahead.
oh, you're at the tail end of yours. Okay, so Cassandra, you're
yeah,
talking about
yeah.
systems,
I
right?
just have one last statement, and I just have one last statement, and that is that people may be inspired by the your personality as the leader in the building, but they stay because of the systems that you create that they can trust. They stay because of the culture that you create in your systems and your processes and your procedures that you design in your school.
So important. So important. The systems, you said something very important, builds trust, right? And also, the systems
Yes,
allow your teachers to know that they matter. You know, are you included in
exactly.
decisions that we
Hmm.
make? You know, our systems are not just something that I do, it's
Hmm.
something that we do together. And when you create
Right.
systems, your teachers know what to expect. You know, they're not coming in blind. So I agree with everything you said. And leaders can also build systems by regular one-on-one check-ins. I don't know if you said that because I was gone. I had to come downstairs, get closer to the router.
At
But
least you're in the cool.
I moved everything. I moved everything. You know, systems and one-on-one check-in is so important.
I'm so glad you're back.
Thank you. I missed you
Mhm.
all. But giving consistent feedback to your staff is important too. I don't know if you mentioned that about systems. You know, giving feedback. You
Yes.
know,
Because you
sometimes
talked about
we
doing
just
walkthroughs. Yes, she mentioned.
yeah, you talked about that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
so I'm going
Mhm.
to transition to my part, which is why emotional safety determines whether people stay or leave. Because my whole
Oh,
thing is about teacher retention. And we need teachers to feel emotionally safe in order to stay at a school, right? So I'm going to introduce 5 points that lead to emotional safety, which therefore leads to teacher retention. And the first point is staff rarely leave roles, they leave emotional environments. So if they feel emotionally safe, like I said, when I first came back,
yes.
they will stay. They're not going to leave their role as a teacher.
Mhm.
But if they don't feel emotionally safe, they will leave. And so retention is deeply connected to how people
Mhm.
experience leadership every day. You know, do you speak to me? Something as simple. Do you speak to me when you see me?
That's right.
You know, do you take
Mhm.
a moment to ask me how was my
That's right.
day instead of coming in and evaluating right away? How was your day?
Mhm.
How's your daughter? How's your son? You know,
That's
your
right.
your your husband was
That's
sick
right.
last week. You know,
Mhm.
I'm just checking in to see how he's doing. Now there's that personal connection. So teachers rarely leave roles.
Yeah.
They leave environments. So that's number one. And then teacher retention.
So
Point
true.
number two that leads to emotional safety is emotional safety directly impacts the psychological fatigue. And we talked about that last week. When teachers are
Yes.
psychologically
Yes.
fatigued,
Yes.
the last thing they need you to do is come in and tell them that they forgot to turn in something by the deadline. Okay. So there's a way we can do that without putting
So true.
yes, without putting extra pressure on our teachers. So when teachers constantly wonder whether they're going to be criticized or
Right.
dismissed or misunderstood, they expand additional energy that they don't need
Mhm.
to because now they're worried. You know, am I going to be criticized? Am
Right.
I going to
Mhm.
be pretty much reprimanded
Mhm.
for something? So, number two, emotional safety directly impacts psychological fatigue. And then number three, teacher retention point number three is when your staff feels emotionally unsafe, they begin to self protect instead of contribute. And what do I mean by self protect? I'm not volunteering for anything.
Yes.
I am not going to give my
Mhm.
opinion.
Yeah.
I am going to
Mhm.
operate in compliance. So now I'm in
That's
self
right.
protect mode. Do you all want to say anything about that?
I am that person.
Mhm.
Yes. And you
Okay.
shared
Oh,
that.
yes.
I
Yes.
have
Yes.
poured and
Mhm.
poured
Mhm.
into a system that is not taking heed to the wisdom.
Mhm.
When I
Mhm.
get
Mhm.
complaints,
Mhm.
I'm a whole teacher, but yeah, you come in to complain. I'm like, well, you should be doing. I can't do your
Yeah.
job and mine, and the
Right.
Mhm.
Lord job. So
Mhm.
I
Yes.
will. If I don't see
Yes.
it implemented, I definitely will like back down from sharing. You know, said wisdom,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I want to know
Yes.
that my voice is heard but also you're implementing. I'm not saying that everything you do, but at least one or two suggestions that will help lift the weight off of yourself and then the others. I would like to see it come into fruition, So that's just again from a teacher's lens. And then one thing that I'm sure that Mr. Wilson will appreciate this. I share with with the leaders at my school. I said, I want you to put yourself in the shoes of your staff,
Yes.
your teachers in this dispensation. Not when you taught,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
but
wait. Say that again, please, for the people in the back.
now. Put yourself in the shoes of the teacher teaching
Exactly.
in
Not
this
when you did it.
dispensation. Not when you taught it, but in this.
Now.
And if you could have heard the rebuttal, I said no, because this is all about getting to understand it from the teacher's lens of today.
Right. Yeah.
Because when you're able to see it from their lens, then you'll be able to tell and coach them better.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that's the wisdom. You got to put yourself in the shoes of the other person to get perspective. So that's connection.
Yeah. And never forget, like we talked about last week, never forget what it means to be a teacher. Yeah. Always remember when you walk those shoes.
I agree with right. Yes, Dr. Angela, I want to piggyback on that as well. I think what you described is quiet quitting.
It's quiet
because they're there on the staff, they're not contributing anything, they're not participating in anything because all they're focused on is being safe and taking care of themselves emotionally. So it's quiet quitting when they don't want to participate, and it's because of the environment that's created.
Right.
So I love that. That's so true. We have to be intentional when we see people just back out and don't participate at all. That's something wrong with the culture and the environment that you're creating.
And as school leaders, we need to be what is called reflective practitioners. We need to reflect. Okay, so why is this person all of a sudden silent when they were volunteering for, different things in our building?
Mm-hmm.
And for the last 6 months, this person has not done a thing. So being a reflective practitioner as a school leader, our job is to go and have a conversation with that particular staff member. I noticed that you've been kind of quiet lately.
That's right.
Is something going on that I can help you with? Mm-hmm. Is there something you want to share with me? So now you're creating an emotionally safe place for that person. Yeah. Because first of all, they're probably even surprised that you noticed.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I'm going to add this. Y'all might cringe.
That's what I was going to say. That's right.
You might cringe when I say this because I said it to a coworker who's no longer, she's retired. She's been teaching for 50 years, but she finally retired, thank the Lord, because she needs to sit down.
Okay, yeah, some people need to go.
She's phenomenal. And I had to tell her, just because you are emotionally available professionally doesn't mean that the leader has it in her personal space. So whenever you're not exercising in your personal space, it will seep over into your professional space.
Absolutely.
So this is why that self-reflection is so important. Mm-hmm. How are you showing up in your personal relationships? Because it's going to be a mirror. Yeah, this is that professional vulnerability. This is that professional vulnerability. This is my intellectual property. So don't steal this, y'all. Anybody listening? So keeping it real. And I want to put aside. I want to put a little sticky note right here, real quick. Dr. Cassandra, you're getting a lot of love in the chat. I don't know these people, but hey, y'all.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Hey, and then someone said, "Welcome back, honey." And then that might be your husband.
Yes.
That's
Hey there, hey, Miss Eccles, and
that's cool.
so Miss Thomas, I think it's Miss Thomas,
Oh, that's
She worked
sweet.
with Dr.
Oh
Jenkins.
yeah,
Okay.
Thompson, Miss
and
Thompson.
then
Yeah.
yeah, but she said
Okay.
that you, yes, talks the
That's,
talk and walks the walk. Yeah, I can believe it. I
Yeah.
can
oh,
truly believe
that's
it.
sweet.
That's
I
good.
want to look some more shout outs
Thank
here.
you.
And then
Oh,
Taylor or Green, Miss Green said you were a phenomenal leader when you
oh
were her
yes, yes.
assistant. Oh yeah, she was one of your assistant principals. Come on
All
here,
right.
mentee
Oh
coming
yeah.
through.
Well,
And
thank
then
y'all.
okay, so Wilson said the
The leaders
leader's attitude is key.
key.
Mm-hmm. Knowing your subordinates and
Knowing
recognizing
your
the change is
subordinates and
key to
recognizing the
make them feel
changes.
safe. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Now ask
absolutely,
me, have that
absolutely.
happen this school year? I'm gonna say no.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
I'm gonna keep it real. It's a
That's
no.
yeah,
Yes.
Some people again
right.
don't have that emotional safety within their own personal space. So then how can they be that? And this is why I'm gonna give you guys the
Yeah.
how to.
Right. It spills over. But let me go. I have two more
You got
points.
two more. But
I
hold
have
on before you do that. This
Mhm.
is a very
I
impactful
was that
discussion.
Miss
I
Williams.
appreciate the transparency as a parent. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Oh,
Go ahead, Dr. Angela. Take it away.
Awesome,
thank you,
awesome.
Miss Williams. We appreciate that. And our parents are so
Yeah,
important. We need our parents on the
absolutely.
team along with our
Yes.
teachers.
Yes,
So
Yes.
yes.
thank you for that
Mm-hmm.
comment.
Yeah,
Point number 4, it kind of goes
yeah.
with point number 3. Silence is often a sign
Mm-hmm.
of emotional withdrawal, not agreement.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Yeah,
a principal is excited that there is no pushback, and my staff is not saying anything, that's not necessarily a sign of agreement with you. That's a sign that
right.
I do not agree sometimes. So quiet
Mm-hmm.
meetings are
Mm-hmm.
not always healthy meetings, right? If people are sitting silently, that's
Yes,
really not
yes.
a sign of a healthy meeting. Teachers may stop
Mm-hmm.
speaking because experience has taught them to stop. So experience
Exactly,
is the best
exactly.
teacher, as we would say, right? So if teachers stop
Yes,
talking,
that's
experience
so
has
true.
taught them to stop talking, right? And so point number 5,
So true. So true.
right. Point number 5, retention improves when staff feel seen, heard, and emotionally respected. And we all preach that. If
Yes.
teachers feel seen, if they feel heard, if they feel valued,
Mm-hmm.
they will stay. Every teacher wants to know that they matter beyond
Right.
a paycheck or beyond their performance. You matter to me. You matter to the school
Right.
community. You matter
Mm-hmm.
to the students. Feeling respected creates trust. Any comments about retention improves to help teachers feel seen and heard? Any comments about that?
I'll comment on that. It's making them feel like they have value,
Yeah,
making them feel like they contribute to what takes place on the campus. And it's not the principal, the campus belongs to the principal alone. It's our campus.
it's
And
our
we
campus.
do what is necessary to ensure success. So yeah, it's value, making sure that the staff feels that they add value to the
Right.
job.
And one quick question, Shantanique, before you close us out. What are the early warning signs that emotional safety is breaking down in your school? And I'll go first. Silence, reduce collaboration, keeping conversations surface level,
Mhm.
and innovation declines. And I'm just going to sum it up with those because we touched all of those. But
Yeah.
all of those are early
Mhm.
warning signs of
Mhm.
quiet quitting, as Cassandra would say. I'm gonna
Yeah.
bounce it back to you,
Mhm.
Shantanique.
Yes. I mean, you just told my whole school year.
Summed it up.
Yes, yes.
I just was thinking about all the people that left. I said, ooh, 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 ooh. Okay,
Hmm.
because again, there are things that leaders have to look at.
Yeah.
What am I doing that's causing the climate? Not saying, was it me? Do not say that to another person out loud. For the people.
Self-reflection.
Right.
Yes, that's something you do in
Mhm.
private. Okay, please. Again, we gotta help our new
It is.
leaders.
Mhm.
And,
Yes.
and let me say one more thing real
Mhm.
quick.
Go ahead.
When I
Mhm.
was a teacher And even a principal, I would say that if 90% of my kids are failing, it is me. Or if I'm observing a teacher
It's a
and most of their kids are
yeah.
failing, what is the teacher doing? So, self reflection. If my teachers are upset, if my teachers
Mhm.
are leaving, I need to look within.
Mm-hmm.
What am I doing? What can I do to create a safe environment for them?
Mhm.
Listen, that's so good because it's the opposite for me. The parents are leaving because
Yeah.
I'm not moving
Yes.
up with the kids.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh no, I can't. My kids ain't
Wow.
gonna pass.
Wow.
I'm like, well,
That
okay,
speaks
I can't
volume.
control, I can't control.
Yeah. Hmm.
My kids are learning in
Yeah.
your class, or
Yeah.
I'll find
That
out another
speaks
school.
volumes. Yeah.
Who gonna be? Can you have my kid? Can you? Well, first of all, can I get through this school year?
Mhm.
Right. I can't have all the kids.
I can't have
Right.
everybody. It's not
Right.
happening. No.
Right. And that's
Absolutely.
why an
I
administrator wants to have
agree.
a building of all teachers that have the same work ethic,
Mm-hmm.
because then
Right.
wherever they go, they will have a good teacher.
Continuity.
Exactly. Mhm.
So it takes time to build a
Mhm.
staff like that.
And also to your point, it does take time. It takes a lot of time. But to your point earlier, Dr. Angela, about a teacher assessing his or her success based on whether students were teachers. So just like the teacher has to assess their classroom, the principal has to assess his or her building. So the way I always thought about it was
Hmm.
every classroom in the building was my class.
Yes.
And I had to assess the functioning of the campus based on the results I was getting from those classes. So if we keep that teacher mindset as the building leader,
Hmm.
then we are the teacher of the teachers. And
Yes.
so
Say that again. That's good.
we're supposed to point out the data when the success is not where it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to
Mm-hmm.
celebrate when the success is where it's supposed to be. We're supposed to
Hmm.
make sure that goals and parameters and expectations are clear and communicated consistently. We can't say it one time and expect, oh, everybody's going to remember that one time I said it. You have to be a
No.
broken record. There has
Hmm.
to be consistency and reflection and connection and revamping of everything that you do all the time. It is an ongoing process.
Right.
Yes.
I love that. That's good, Dr. Cassandra.
Yeah, come
That's
on
good.
with it. I
That's
hope you
good.
are enjoying this. Oh my goodness. So we said all of
Yeah.
that to give you guys some a practical tool that you can use. And like I challenged you 2 weeks ago to do it in your personal life, this is another methodology that you can use for your personal life. The cookout coming up, okay? 4th of July, I'm not sure who if you celebrate, but the cookout is now. So this is called pause, acknowledge, redirect. This is
Hmm.
the principal move for your next 2 weeks. Pause, acknowledge, redirect. So pause, number one, before responding to any
Mhm.
emotional message, concern, or tension. So I want you to pause before you get that email. When you get that email, read it, but pause. Don't respond right away. Let it sit for a second because
Mhm.
when you sit still, guess what happens? You begin to think of a better way to respond before just being reactive. At this point, you all following us. Nobody should be operating from a reactive place anymore. No leader
Yes.
from this point on should be responding from a reactive place because we know that it's important to pause before we respond because we want to make sure that the message we're going to respond to gets across safely and it's
Mhm.
understandable. Like they can comprehend your response because you're saying it in a healthy manner. Okay, very important.
Absolutely. Yes.
Number one is to pause. Number two is acknowledge. Respond to the emotion first, not the
Right.
logistics. We talked about that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to. So an example is, I heard this has been has been overwhelming for you, right? What are some ways? Let's actually unpack this. So this is where that redirect part comes in. Let's unpack this to see how I can best support you. I know we have a goal to meet, and I want to help you reach your goal. So let's see what's realistic, so that I can, whatever's on your plate, I can help take that
Right.
off so that you can have some room, so
Uh-huh.
you can meet
Mm-hmm.
your goal. We can do this together.
Right.
I know that might cringe somebody out there. It's okay, but it's okay to help your fellow
Right.
coworkers, because
Yeah.
teachers are your
It
coworkers.
is.
Hmm.
It is. Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Just
some people,
imagine,
yeah,
Shantanique, in that scenario in the beginning, if the principal had utilized this: pause, acknowledge, and redirect, instead
Yes.
of quickly reading it, giving a quick response, and then
Mm-hmm.
nothing. That
Yes.
reaction of the teacher would have been completely different
mm-hmm,
So
if
yep,
true.
their
Yeah.
feelings had been acknowledged.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is
Yep.
this is a great strategy for principals to use.
It
yes.
is. It is.
So I want you guys to think about this. Use this with your family.
Hmm.
They say when
Mm-hmm.
you do it 7 times, you will remember it. They say if
Yes.
you do it 7 times, that's 14 times. You become fluent in it. You do it
Yeah.
about 20 times, you become an expert. If you do it 20 times that, or 100 more, you become the master of
Yeah.
it. So we need
Right.
all the leaders
Mm-hmm.
to what? To pause.
Yes.
You
That's
want to
right.
retain
Mm-hmm.
your staff? Please pause.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please be
Yes.
direct. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging someone's emotion. When you at least acknowledge it, oh, that's gold.
Right.
They're not gonna start looking at their resume and refining it.
Right.
Right. Right.
Because that person did not feel acknowledged.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
yes.
And
So
when you don't feel acknowledged, you don't feel like you're a part. And when you feel displaced, you'll start trying to find your place.
Right.
come on.
You don't feel
Mhm.
valued. You don't feel
Exactly.
respected.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes,
Because you should feel all that in where you work at. Yeah.
you
And
should.
all of this
Yes.
boils down to the big R word, which is relationships.
Yes.
Relationships are the key to a successful
To it all.
emotional
That's right.
school environment.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that was your what's one of your assignments this week is to use that um, pause,
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge, redirect
Redirect, right.
method. Okay.
Yes.
Now the second one,
Mm-hmm.
here's your leadership reflection for tonight. You may want to rewatch it to get the question. When your staff bring you their stress, frustration, or uncertainty, do they leave feeling lighter, or do they feel more guarded?
Oh,
Oh,
that's
wow.
key.
Okay.
Yeah.
Breathe. It's okay. Because here's the thing, emotional safety is not what you intend, it's what people experience after interacting with you.
Yes, that's so
Yeah.
good.
Again, what type of
That's true.
experience do I want my staff to have with me in 2026, 2027?
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's what we're
Yeah.
here for. We're here to help you with those hard questions, but help you to
Yes.
unpack it, because we want you to be great. If we did not want you to be great, I would not be on this broadcast.
Oh, yes. Because at
So
the end of
true.
the
So true.
day,
Yes.
it's all about our students. So if our teachers feel safe, then our students will
Yeah.
thrive. Our students will succeed academically when our teachers feel safe. So it's that whole concept of
Right.
put your mask
Right.
on before you put somebody else's mask on. If the principal puts their
They
mask
will.
on and they're emotionally sound, then the teacher can put her mask on or his mask and they're emotionally safe. And as a result, our students will thrive.
Yes. So today we
So true.
unpacked
Yeah.
a whole lot in the
Mm-hmm.
area of emotional
Mm-hmm.
safety.
Yeah.
Shoot, this is a whole workshop by itself. It
Right?
really
So
is.
it is.
It
It
is.
is. It is. Yeah.
So we unpacked a lot today, talked about the patterns of the system and how it shapes the way our staff feel, how they stay encouraged and engaged, or whether they're beginning to disconnect and
Mhm.
disengage. Um,
Mhm.
and so we want you to
Right.
remember to use the pause, acknowledge, redirect method this weekend. Okay, use that with your people. Okay, and then of course make sure you reflect on what when
Mhm.
staff come to you um, with their vulnerability. Do they leave feeling supported, or do they go completely silent?
Right.
So the end of this, I want to make sure I layer this. I don't want anyone to miss this. If this episode or the episode before has resonated with you in the area of self regulation, because there's a deeper conversation that I would love to have with you to understand leadership and self regulation, emotional awareness with yourself as you operate in the capacity of high pressure in the environment you're creating. I want to invite you to the Leadership Reset Experience. It's absolutely free. Okay, it's going down next Tuesday, July 7th at 6 p.m. on Zoom. And I have the link under the description below. Is absolutely free to my leaders who need to understand what self-regulation is, what that looks like, and we're going to be practicing that in real time. So I'm giving you guys practical tools you can use before the school year
Wow.
start. Okay, and I'm doing it
That's
absolutely
good.
free, absolutely
That's
free,
great.
because
Mhm.
we have to move past talking and start
Yeah.
working on our body, because again,
Right.
it's in the body.
Yes.
Okay,
And
the
this is
things
the
we have going
perfect time
on,
to do it.
and it's time for leaders to be
Yeah.
self-regulated so that you can lead
Yeah.
from an emotional intelligent
Mhm.
place. So again, the link is under the description of this video. If
Sure.
you want to click the link and register, absolutely free. And now to the next part. I need you all to do this. Please subscribe to Dr. Angela Taylor Echo's channel tonight. Her link is also on this under the description as well. Okay, because in 2 weeks, she'll be hosting the next part of this series. Okay, I'm so excited. She has some
Yeah.
amazing and powerful speakers that are going to be joining us in the conversation on retention and
Yes.
how they've been successful in
Yes.
doing that. So I can't wait to hear what they have to say. And also
Yeah.
make sure you are subscribed to Dr. Cassandra H. Jenkins' channel, because she will also be following
Yes.
the remaining part of this series on her channel. So we want you guys to make sure you support us, because we're working
Yeah.
together to bridge the gap with the lens of leadership and how that works in the school setting. So again, thank you all for coming on
Right.
tonight. Thank you all for being lit in the chat. It's so
Yes.
good to see you all. Miss Davis, thank you so much. Um, Dr. Jenkins, you
Oh,
get a lot of love tonight. Okay,
thank
clap.
y'all. Y'all are so sweet. Thank
That's
y'all.
good.
Yes, come
This is
on.
one of your former teachers.
Yes,
Oh,
she is. Awesome. Thank
sweet.
you.
Thank you so much. And Miss Green, thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you
Yeah.
all. Again, you guys have an amazing holiday. Don't eat too much
Yes.
barbecue. And until next time, I am Shantanique Langston.
I am Dr. Angela Taylor Eccles.
And I am Dr. Cassandra H. Jenkins.
And remember that awareness changes the way that we lead. Thank you again for tuning in, and we will talk to you guys in our next video. Y'all stay blessed.
Bye,
All right.
everyone.
Bye-bye.